Hello everyone, myself Prasantara Swaha. Today I'm here with a new topic, contract management. So these are the content what I'm going to be including: administrative approval, tender and its process, pre-qualification, security deposit, breach of contract, suspension of work. So the administrative approval. Administrative approval typically refers to the process by which certain actions, decisions, or requests within an organization are reviewed and authorized by individuals in administrative roles. This process is often in place to ensure that actions align with organizational policies, procedures, and goals. Administrative approval is common in various contexts including business, government, education, and non-profit organizations. The key points about administrative approval includes authorization process, hierarchy and responsibility, policy adherence, risk management. So in authorization process, administrative approval involves seeking permission or clearance from individuals in administrative positions before carrying out certain activities. This could include projects, expenditures, policy changes, or other significant actions. And in hierarchy and responsibility, the level of authority required for approval often depends on nature and impact of decision. Higher level administrators or executives may be responsible for improving major initiatives or financial expenditures, while lower level administrators may handle routine matters. In policy adherence, the approval process ensures that actions are consistent with established policies and guidelines. This helps maintain compliance with legal requirements, industry standards, and organizations' internal regulations. The next is risk management. Administrative approval is a key component of risk management. By having oversight from administrators, organizations can mitigate risk associated with potential errors, financial losses, or actions that may have adverse consequences. Next is tender and its process. A tender is a formal written offer or proposal to provide goods or services at a specified price following a structured procurement process. It is a common method used by organizations, businesses, and government agencies to invite competitive bid from qualified suppliers or service providers. The tendering process is designed to ensure transparency, fairness, and equal opportunity for potential suppliers. So let us go through the overview of tendering process. The identification of need. The organization identifies a need for goods or services. This could be a project, the supply of products, or the provision of specific services. Next is the development of tender documents. The organization creates detailed tender documents, including a request for tender or invitation to tender. These documents outlines the project or requirements, including specifications, terms and conditions, evaluation criteria, and submission instructions. Next is publication of tender. The organization publishes the tender documents, making them accessible to potential suppliers. This can be done through official websites, public notices, or specialized procurement platforms. The next is pre-qualification. So, what is pre-qualification? Pre-qualification is a process used in the procurement and business to assess and evaluate the qualifications, capabilities, and suitability of potential suppliers or contractors. Before inviting them to submit formal bids or proposals, the goals of pre-qualification is to ensure that only qualified and capable vendors are invited to participate in a competitive bidding processes, streamlining the selection of suppliers and minimizing the risk of awarding contracts to entities that may not meet the necessary criteria. So let us look to the overview of pre-qualification processes. So the development of pre-qualification documents. The organization creates pre-qualification documents which typically include information about the project, eligibility criteria, technical specifications, financial requirements, experience, and other relevant qualifications. Now, the announcement and invitation. The pre-qualification process is announced and invitations are extended to potential suppliers or contractors to express their interest in participating. This is often done through public notices, official websites, or specialized procurement platforms. And the next is submission of pre-qualification documents. Interested suppliers or contractors submit their pre-qualification documents, providing information about their qualifications, experience, financial stability, technical expertise, and other relevant capabilities. Let us go through this security deposit. A security deposit is a financial arrangement in which a party, often tenant or a contractor, provides a sum of money to another party, typically a landlord, a service provider, or a project owner, as a form of security against potential risks or breaches of contract. Security deposits serves as a form of protection for the recipient, ensuring that there are funds available in case the party providing the deposit fails to fulfill their obligations and or causes damage. So let us go through the common contexts in which security deposits are used. So they are used in rental agreements. So in rental agreements, there's a tenant deposits. In leasing arrangements, landlords often require tenants to pay a security deposit upfront. This deposit acts as a protection for landlord in case the tenant causes damage to the property, violates the terms of leases, or fails to pay rent. If the tenant fulfills all obligations, the deposit is typically returned at the end of the lease term. The next is a business contract. In this business contracts, we have performance bond. In business contracts, particularly in construction or service agreements, a security deposit or performance bond may be required. This ensures that the contractor or service provider completes the project or fulfills their contractual obligations. If there are delays, breaches, or subpar performance, the recipient can use the security deposit to cover losses or additional expenses. So, a breach of contract. A breach of contract occurs when one party to a legally binding agreement fails to fulfill its obligations as specified in the contract. Contracts are legally enforceable agreements between two or more parties that outline the terms and conditions governing their relationship. These agreements can be verbal or in a written, but written contracts are generally easier to enforce. So breach of contracts can take various forms, including the failure to perform, incomplete performance, delay in performance, defective performance. So in failure to perform, one party may fail to fulfill its obligations under the contract, such as not delivering goods or services as agreed upon. The next is incomplete performance. So if one party partially performs its obligations but does not complete them fully or according to the terms specified in the contract, it may be considered as a breach. A delay in performance. If a party fails to perform within the time frame specified in the contract, it may be considered as a breach, especially if time is of the essence. The next is defective performance. If the goods or the services provided do not meet the quality standards specified in the contract, it can be considered as a breach. Suspension of work. The suspension of work in the context of a contractual agreement refers to a temporary halt or interruption of the performance of the contracted work. This situation can arise for various reasons, and it is often addressed in the terms and conditions of a contract. The suspension of work may be initiated by either party involved in the contract or may be the result of external factors beyond the control of parties. So, some of the common reasons for the suspension of works are the mutual agreement, force majeure, client's request, the contractor's request. In the mutual agreement, both the parties may agree to temporarily suspend work for various reasons, such as need for additional time to resolve issues, changes in project scope, or for unforeseen circumstances. And in force majeure, the occurrence of unforeseen events beyond the control of the parties, such as natural disasters, war, or other emergencies, may lead to the suspension of work. Many contracts include force majeure clause to address such situations. Client's request. The party that initiated the contract, often the client or the project owner, may request a suspension of work due to financial conditions, a change in project priorities, or other reasons. And the next is contractor's request. The contractor may request a suspension of work if it encounters unexpected difficulties, faces resources shortage, or needs additional time to address issues that may hinder the project's progress. Thank you.